What in tarnation? We're having a dance party in here, pup? Alright, I expect you guys to hear a lot of wind noise today. And it's because it's windy, obviously. And today, running the wires for the fans. I guess the single fan. Pretty simple. I'm going to try and run it through the original Volkswagen spot up there in the corner. Through the door, sides of the panels of the shell here. And yeah, I removed all the wiring, original wiring that the previous owners did, and started on the headlights. I actually got all the headlights working off of a 12-volt car battery. And yeah, gonna continue doing wiring. And I noticed some issues with the wiring that was already in here, that being the charging system, because I noticed on past Volkswagen Beetles I had that the alternator wires actually went to the battery. Some of them, I think one wire went to the battery and the other one went to the ignition switch and headlight switch, and this one didn't. And that could have been the reasons why I was having some dying battery issues. I'm not sure, but we're gonna fix that in this wiring that we're doing. All right, so on these solder weatherproof, I guess you wouldn't call them crimps because they don't crimp, but they solder the two pieces of wire together and keep them waterproof. On these ones, you gotta not just twist these cables here. You gotta keep them all loose so that whenever you push the two wires together, they kind of intertwine. And you slide this over, and then you heat it up so that the solder gets all the way through the wire. And as long as it's, you can't rip it apart, good enough to me. It'll kind of look like this, if I can make it focus on the wire here. Can't really see it. It doesn't want to focus, but you get what I'm saying. The wires are like intertwined with each other. And I just slid it over and put the solder in the middle of it. I'm gonna try and heat it up and see if it works, because my heat gun doesn't show up till tomorrow and I'm too impatient. All right, don't do that. That burns it. You need a heat gun. I think I'm just gonna have to run everything I can today and wait till tomorrow to actually attach them to where they're supposed to go, because I just can't with what I have at the moment. But I am gonna see if the fan works. All right, got the super long wire. It's approximately as long as the Beetle, and yeah, I'm probably gonna zip these two together so I know exactly what they are, and I'm gonna attach them to this heart battery and see if she does anything, or if I have the polarities wrong. Alright, I just tested it and it does work. I'm just not sure which direction the fan should be blowing. Should it blowing towards the Beetle or away from it? Should it be pulling or pushing? That's what I'm confused, because on a typical car, the radiator faces towards the engine and pushes air towards the engine. But obviously this is not on the engine, it's on the back of the car. So I'm kind of at a standstill of which direction. So if any of you can put that down there in the bottom, if you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I have my red wire as positive. If I put it on negative, it pulls it and pushes it towards the Beetle. And if I put it on negative on positive, yeah, negative on positive, positive on negative, pushes towards the Beetle. And if I put positive on positive, negative on negative, it pushes it towards the outside, towards me. So, yeah. Yay or nay? I'm not really sure. But, yeah. I'll just leave that like that for now. Either way, it's going to cool it, technically, because it's not getting hot from anything else other than itself. So, yeah, I'll probably go do more research on that. So I found myself some prehistoric solder that predates the state of Missouri's foundation and a Playboy lighter. So that'll work, maybe, possibly, weld those together. And I figured out also that it's supposed to be pull through a oil radiator type thing. Another video covered in random days doing stuff. So I'm ripping the dash off because it's already broken, and I like the, I don't know what they call it, the European style, where it's just a metal dash, and it's all gonna be bed lined, so it looks uniform. But I'm having a hard time because I don't know how to take this dash off. I'm just ripping pieces off. Yep. And yeah, it's coming along nicely. Haven't broken anything I need yet. Anyways, I will continue. Now look at this monstrosity. Wobble. No, we got drill bit holder with a adapter to socket to a really long wobble extension to a swivel to a 10 mil. Now this is legendary. All of this to get the dash nuts off. All right, dash is off, completely off. It's a little dusty, not a big deal. It is the next day again, because raining, but it's wet, not raining, and it's somehow 70 degrees, even though it was like 40 yesterday. I don't understand Missouri, but getting some wires ran and using the heat gun, and it's working pretty good. Got all that hooked up. And I'm maybe running the fan wires and the starter wires, alternator wires, and hopefully the rear turn signals and brake lights today. Alrighty, I got the fan wire ran. It's already got some loom on it. Ran it through the original spot behind the pillars, and it comes through the side panel back here, so you can't even see it. And since the heater channels aren't going to be used, I'm probably going to use the heater channels and run them through the rockers all the way up to the original harness spot, and that should be well hidden. Well hidden. I got the starter wire and the alternator wire. They have a hard start on here, so I have to figure out how to hook that up yet, but I'm going to get that ran to the exact same spot so that it looks uniform. Alright, I got the wires in there. You can see my little crimp, well, not a crimp, but it has the weatherproof it's got the weatherproof sides on there and a solder in the middle. Just press the two wires together, kind of squeeze them together. Then use this heat gun that has a little gabagoo on the end of it, and we're going to heat it up. Look at that, you got solder in there now, holding those wires together. And it's waterproof on both ends because of the little green goo. I think that's actually just super glue or a hot glue that just shrinks with the shrink wrap over it. But yeah, that's how it is. And then I'm gonna put the heat shrink over that. Alrighty, here is heat shrink. Easy as that. And now I got waterproof connection soldered together and some heat shrink over it. It ain't going nowhere. All right, we got alternator, starter, hot start for the starter going to the ignition, and we got the fan wires ran. It's a lot cleaner back here. Still got to run the lights. The lights on these are already inside. That's just how they were before. I'm just not going to move them like that. And these ones, I got to run them same way as all the others. And then that'll be the whole back done, technically, other than the coil wire and the tack wire that needs to come back here to the coil. So yeah, it's all looking good. Those are all going everywhere else in here. And dash looks pretty good. The speedometer I got, it's a GPS speedometer. Everywhere I read on the internet said it would fit. Stupid me for not paying attention, but it did not fit. It's way too small. But we're gonna make it work by putting a plate over it and then try and make it look nice and all that jazz. But I have tested it. It does work. It works pretty good. It's pretty accurate, actually. And yeah, we're gonna continue working our way to the front. All right, so I'm extending the drive lights, brake lights, and all that. And this stuff takes forever. Like, I don't understand how people do this all the time, but I've only got 2 out of 3 done. Well, 2 out of 6 done. I need to go for just these two lights. I need to bring them all the way to the front. And same with I need to tie these guys into it too. Because I also figured out these have turn signals. They weren't hooked up before because there was no turn signal switch. So it's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Making a lot of progress though. Ready. So your turn signal or drive light. No, drive light, ground, turn signal into solder joints, heat shrink, that's what it's called. And now, yeah, got ourselves a solid connection. It's pretty long. And these are going to tie into the other ones, except for the turn signals. Turn signals are going to tie in all to the same dealies. There we go. We got one side ran up behind the firewall tape, which I'm going to be replacing this at some point. It looks tacky. But yeah, run it like this, all the way up behind there. And right now it's coming out right there, and I got some wire loom on it. It's gonna be running right through the factory harness spot, along with this side right here. And yeah, it's gonna look good. Alrighty, gotta run through there. Still gotta get the other tail light in, well, drive light, and wire up those. And hide them, I don't know where I'm gonna hide them yet. Not sure. But, looks better than a bunch of wires running through the side of the car. And then run these through the heater channel, up through that hole, up through the grommet there. Good to go. Label the yellow wire here so I can figure out, remember that it's the right turn signal because I don't have it labeled anywhere else. What's up, dog? Alright. I got a lot of this ran already. Got both turn signals ran up into the side of the car. All the way to right here. Through the side panel over there, and it's gonna go through this, I already told you, but through there, up there. But I need to run those other two turn signals yet, and I'm tie them in here, make sure I, keep them on the right wire, and then run them to the front, other than these starter and alternator wires. Other than that small one. The small one goes to the ignition switch. So, yeah, easy peasy so far. What do you say, puppy? Yeah, nothing at all. Alrighty, well, I am going to pick up and head in the house and be done for the day. Till next time.